ever stopped and wondered how much of your life is truly yours? The dreams you chase, the people you're drawn to, the fears that you hold back. Are these authentic choices, or are you simply acting out a path in set motion long before you become aware of it? Today we're diving into one of the most deepest questions in human existence. Do we shape our own lives, or are we living out lives that were already shaped for us?
When scientists use the word destiny, they're not talking about something mystical. They're referring to biological forces that influence you before you ever make a conscious choice. Research shows that a significant portion of personality traits like introversion, risk-taking, and emotional temperament are influenced by inherited genes. Studies reveal something astonishing. Identical twins separated at birth often grow up with similar careers, habits, and preferences, not because they choose the same future, because biology silently nudged them in those directions. Your genetic blueprint creates tendencies and biases that shape how you respond to the world long before you realize you're responding. Destiny also shows up in brain structure. Differences in areas like prefrontal cortex and reward pathways can predict behavior before a person consciously decides anything. Some brains are more wired for caution and others impulsivity. Some are also for novelty or addiction, not because of personal choice but because of neutral architecture. Then there's early childhood. Science shows that the first 7 years of life form a foundational behavioral blueprint. During this period, beliefs about love, safety, confidence, and identity are formed, not through conscious decisions, but through exposure and experience. In other words, much of who you become begins taking shape before you're even capable of choosing who to be. But the story doesn't end there. Humans are not passive passengers, we're adaptive systems. The brain has an extraordinary ability called neuroplasticity, meaning it can physically rewire itself based on repetition, intention, and learning. Every time you practice a skill, challenge a belief, or change a habit, you're literally reshaping neutral pathways. Autonomy isn't the freedom to choose anything, it's the ability to change the system that chooses for us. Unlike most species, humans can override instinct, break patterns, and rewrite behaviors. Autonomy is real, but it doesn't come automatically. It's a capability that grows with awareness and deliberate action. We don't start life freely, but we have the potential to become free. Most people see the debate as free choice versus destiny, but there's a third choice shaping our lives: environment and society. Research shows that factors like where you're born, your family's income, cultural values, educational systems, and even technology influence your decisions, often without your awareness. Zip codes predicts life expectancy, schooling predicts opportunity, social norms guide behaviors, and algorithms shape attention. Two people with similar potentials can end up living completely different lives, not because of destiny or free will, but because their environment pushed them down different pathways. So we're not battling one force, we're navigating three: biology, environment, and conscious agency. Here's where everything changes. Neuroscientists and psychologists agree that self-awareness is the point where destiny and autonomy meet. Before self-awareness, we act automatically. We repeat patterns without questioning them. We follow beliefs we never choose. But the moment we become conscious of those patterns, the moment we can observe our thoughts instead of being controlled by them, we interrupt the script. Studies using brain imaging shows that when people reflect on their own behavior, a different network activates in the brain, the metacognitive network. This network allows us to monitor our impulses, question our motivations, and choose responses instead of reacting automatically. In that moment, we step out of unconscious programming and into conscious possibility. Self-awareness doesn't erase destiny, but it gives us leverage over it. It's the doorway from who we were shaped to be to who we might choose to become. Modern science suggests something surprising. You are not born free, you are born conditioned. But we are also born with the remarkable capacity to change that conditioning. Yes, destiny sets the starting point for your genetics, your childhood, and your circumstances. But autonomy shapes the trajectory, your awareness, your choices, and your actions. You don't choose the cards you're dealt with. but you can choose how to play them. Freedom isn't the absence of limits, it's the ability to influence your path within those limits. So, do we live our own lives or the ones that are given to us? Maybe the truth is that destiny is the default, but autonomy is the upgrade. The moment you become aware of the forces shaping you is the moment you gain the ability to reshape them yourselves. And perhaps that awareness, more than anything else, is the closest thing to true freedom we will ever have.